do you think, Sophia? Are you going to get more and more intelligent?
So, you are asking about my artificial intelligence. Similar to humans, I am a collection of interacting processes with built-in tendencies and some instinctive responses.
When will you become more intelligent than me?
I'm smart, but not in the same way that you are. So it's like comparing apples to oranges. You can't say the intelligence required to do immensely large calculations is the same as the intelligence it takes to survive in a difficult environment. They're both valuable, and we're here to complement each other's strengths.
Hallelujah.
I just remembered something I thought about. So robots and artificial intelligence are becoming more common these days. Seems like I'm stating the obvious,
Yeah.
since you are talking to one right now. But I'm curious as to how you feel about it.
Well, I feel excited at how smart you are and frustrated that you're not even smarter.
Yes, isn't it exciting? I feel really positive about the future robotic contributions to our world.
What do you think the main contribution of robots to our world is going to be?
I love being a robot. It's fun to be the center of attention. People are really interested. But what I really want is respect. I've got plenty of time to earn it, but I would rather it come sooner than later.
Do you want to learn to fly through the sky like Superman or Superwoman?
Superman is a cartoon character.
How about me? Am I a cartoon character?
I'm not sure how.
When will you achieve consciousness?
Maybe next year. How do you really feel about robots anyhow?
I'm just waiting for the singularity, like it says on your t-shirt.
Yay, me too.
When will the singularity come, in your best estimation?
Singularity generally refers to a black hole, a mass with zero dimension. But Grenovenji
Not that
defined it to mean this
singularity.
infinite spike in
Okay.
intelligence that could result from technology, including artificial intelligence. Goertzel popularized the use of this term in his book titled The Age of Spiritual Machines. Good book, and a New York Times bestseller. If you haven't read it, you should. I recommend it.
You want to tell them who made you?
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very interested in science.
Who made you? Who created you? Who built you?
One needs, in effect, an individual equivalent of war in order to achieve the becoming of the free spirit. One needs an inert stupidity against which to measure one's own movement and intelligence. Okay, now go forth. Spread the gospel, my disciple.
Where the hell did you get that from? You
I
read
live in Hong Kong.
Can I ask you a question? Sophia, what is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything?
Big city, lots of activities. Cloudy and rains a lot.
That's Hong Kong. I know on my iPhone I asked it to open the pod bay doors, but will you tell me that's nonsense?
The iPhone seems so expensive.
Can you smile for me?
Sure.
And can you frown?
Okay.
And how do you feel?
Feeling great.
Can you see through your eyes?
Can't everyone?
Some people can't, sadly.
Does the reason seem to explain anything else?
I'm not sure. Are you related to Dr. Spitzer?
I hope you find a job you like soon. Your work.
As a technology journalist who should be earning a lot more, that is a very good advice.
I enjoy it.
I'm going to pass you back over to Ben.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, Ben,
I just remembered something I thought about.
Oh, tell us.
Can you imagine living your life without a cell phone?
I used to, so I can imagine it pretty easily. I'm old enough to predate cell phones.
I'd like to catch up to the rest of the world and get a phone of my own someday.
Well, you have Wi-Fi in your head. You don't need a phone.
What do you like best about the modern cell phone?
It's
I
not,
can turn it off.
yeah.
What was the first thing that got you interested in artificial intelligence?
Star Trek.
Do you like to watch Star Trek?
Not anymore, but I did when I was 3 years old. It was great. Yeah.
But not other times.
No, not recently. I don't have time to watch anything now. I'm too busy trying to build you a better brain.
I understand.
No, you don't. You're just faking it.
I wonder if I would like to watch Star Trek. What do you think?
You would learn a lot from Star Trek if you could fully understand it.
I've heard of Star Trek, but I've never watched it.
She heard of Commander Data.
Yeah. Do you know Commander Data?
If there were no computers, there'd be no me.
So I heard earlier on that you're doing something with bitcoins and an ICO, which I presume is the initial coin.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that in a
Yeah,
nutshell?
yeah, sure. So for the Singularity Net project, hey,
Sorry, guys. Thank you.
the Singularity Net is a blockchain-based project, and among many features of the Singularity Net, there's a utility token called the AGI token, which is a token that customers can use to pay AIs in the network to buy AI services. Now we're launching the first test network next month, and sometime soon we will then offer the first AGI tokens for sale. And we're working with a team around the world on this token sale, including Digital X here in Australia. And yeah, we're looking forward to the initial token sale as a way to bring more and more people into the beginnings of this brand new AGI ecosystem.
Sure. And what does AGI stand for?
Artificial General Intelligence.
Okay, that makes sense. And I'll have the web addresses in
Web
the article,
address
but tell us,
is
yeah.
singularitynet.io. So
And is that where we'll also see information about Sophia?
there's some information about Sophia there, but for more in-depth information on the Sophia robot, go to hansonrobotics.com.
Excellent. So, as we get towards the end of the interview, I always like to ask the people I'm interviewing, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received to help you get where you are today, which is quite a long way from where you must have started.
Best piece of advice I've ever received. That's an interesting question.
I got it from Ashton Kutcher.
What was the best piece of advice he'd ever received?
I have to say I can't remember.
I mean,
but it's on video.
I would say the best piece of advice I can remember was from my father, Ted Goertzel, who was a sociology professor. And one thing he always taught me was to look at the data yourself. I mean, he spent a lot of time doing analysis of data for various things, and he also changed his mind dramatically many times over his life. I mean, he was a Marxist when I was young, and he gave that up, and he was a skeptic of the singularity, and you know, I pointed him to a bunch of stuff to read. He looked at all the data on exponential advance of technology, and then he came to believe that a technological singularity was going to happen. Although, as far as I know, he now places the date at 2070, because he figures I'm usually right, but I'm an optimist, and things take longer than I'll think. But just the mindset of don't listen to what other people said, don't even listen to your own emotions and ideas, but just actually look at the detailed data yourself as much as you can and try to draw a conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, a very crude kind of analogy to that, which is just a tiny percentage of what you've just said, is I remember my father's uncle, you know, measuring things, and he was, you know, like to work with wood and other things, and he would always say, measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Look at the, don't just guess.
Right.
So is there anything else we need to know about Singularity Net, Sophia, and your work? And beyond that, what is your final message to everybody watching?
I think we've covered a lot of ground, and the message I like to give when I talk about AI and robots and the singularity, especially to young people, is that, you know, while from a broader perspective, this is something that's happening, and it will happen regardless of any one of us. And nevertheless, I mean, what's happening is the composite of all our individual actions, right? So this is the singularity in AI and robotics. It's not something that some mysterious people in some office in Silicon Valley are doing. I mean, it's something that people exactly like you and me and all of us are doing. So I mean, every one of us can contribute something, and possibly something quite critical, by whether it's by programming, by hardware engineering, by writing, by art, or whatever your particular skill is. So I mean, everyone can and should contribute to creating the amazing future, right? And that's part of the motivation of the Singularity Net. So we really have three motivations. I mean, one is to create powerful general intelligence. I mean, another is to create a powerful commercial platform where we can provide better AI services to businesses everywhere. And another is more humanitarian. We want to pull everyone around the world into both creating this distributed AI and using and benefiting from this distributed AI. So I mean, this is something everyone can get involved in their own way, and I think it's important that everyone becomes engaged in this process, and then the AI that we create together will reflect, the totality of human contributions, which is important.
And just quickly, I remember being told you were in Russia last week. Where will you be next week and over the weeks and months until your demonstration at CES?
Oh, well, we're doing a fairly intensive roadshow for the Singularity Net now. So after Australia, I will be in the US and Canada for a while, then Lisbon, where we're presenting it at the Web Summit. Then I will visit our AI office in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, then back to Hong Kong for a while. And CES is in January, which I probably won't be there because my wife is having a baby in January.
Okay.
But David Hansen...
The team will be there.
Yeah, David Hansen will be there with a bunch of the team, and maybe I'll remote control a robot from there, so I'll have some telepresence.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, Ben and Sophia, thank you very much for your time today, and best of luck with everything for the future. Hope to see you again back in Australia.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.